What is up, guys? My name is Jordan, and today we'll be making a quick video for beginners on Cinema 4D, just going over some simple basic stuff. Pretty much getting to know the program just by doing a simple little picture, and it's going to look something a little like this. So let's head over to Cinema 4D and open it up. And as you can see, I have the new Cinema 4D R13. Cinema 4D R12 is probably the majority of people using out there right now, but these one just came out. But it's pretty much, it should be similar enough where it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So the first thing I do when I open up a new project is go up to settings, render settings, and make it 1280 by 720. Just click this button, height and width pretty much. And then we can begin to make a project. So as you can see, getting throughout the scene can be a little bit of a hassle sometimes. You can use these three buttons up here. Otherwise, I just use the Alt key with addition to my scroll wheel and my left mouse button. So if you hold the Alt key and press the left mouse button, you can actually rotate throughout the scene. And this is nice because you can actually pick a spot that you want to rotate around, like this plus is where you're, and whatever you click pretty much. And then you can also hold the Alt key, scroll in, that'll zoom in, or you can hold the Alt key and click your scroll wheel down, and you can move throughout the scene. And this just makes getting around Cinema 4D a lot easier. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a floor. So click up here and then go over to floor. Now we're going to make it a little bit bigger, so we're going to go over to chord and then make the X and Y both 5. So X 5 and then Z, X and Z coordinates both 5. Just make the floor a little bit bigger. And then what we're going to do is to make the sphere, we're going to go up here to objects or whatever, go over here to sphere, click on it, drag it up a little bit, zoom in. Then we're going to go over to here to object. We're going to make the segments to 30 and the radius to like 50. We're going to zoom in a little here. Okay. Now let's make a new material. So go here, click create new material, and then you'll see your new material right here. Just double click it. We're going to go color and make it black. And we're also going to go to reflection, click reflection on. We're going to turn the brightness down a little bit. Let's go 50% or so. And then blurriness, I'll just keep it 0. Okay. Drag this up. And now we should just have a simple ball. And then we're going to make it a polygon. So click on this tool. This is the polygon tool, so click on that. And then we're going to go down here to, I don't even know what that would be called. Like, you can highlight these little segments, the squares. That's why we, when we clicked on sphere and we upped the segments, these are all segments. So then we're going to go to select, and then ring selection. Now it'll be able to highlight selections in a ring at a time. So now we're going to rotate a little bit. So to select several areas, we're going to actually click an area, and then the next time you click, you have to press shift. So hold shift and then click on the next spot, and then we'll go like that. Let's see. Then we'll go with this one and then this one. Alright, now we're going to make a second new material. Make it white. Make the color white. And then we're going to go to luminance. Check luminance on. We're going to make the luminance brightness 300. And then what this will do is it will actually make the material glow. Give it a, like, light will be emitting from it. And then we're going to drag that up to our selected polygon selections. Now we're going to click up here. Now this should be somewhat look like, well, be in the end. We're actually going to bring that reflection up a little bit more. Okay. Alright. Next step is to... Whoa. Okay. The next step is to duplicate or clone these balls so that we have several of them, like in the picture. I think I exited out of it. Okay, so we're going to go up here to Mode Graph. Then we're going to click on Cloner. Let's see how we got this cloner. We're going to drag the sphere so that it is under the cloner. See the little arrow? We make sure it's under the cloner. And now you can actually see you have 3 of these balls, and they're all the exact same. Then we're going to go click on Cloner, go over to Mode, and make it a grid array. Now, we want more balls than that, so we're going to go make this 4x4x4. So with Cloner highlighted, we're going to go over to Count and make each of these 4. And by doing that, you can actually see they're all touching right now, so you need to space them out a little bit by going to the size and actually just click and drag until they're spaced out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Next step is to, when we have these, to make the picture, we need to, we actually need to make these balls fall so that they all land in different positions and they're on the floor. You can see them illuminating the floor and they're reflecting off each other right here. So what we need to do is we actually need to make each of these balls a rigid body. So we're going to right click on cloner, or no, right click on sphere. We're going to go simulation tags and make it a rigid body. We're going to click on rigid body tag. And we have to make the floor also a rigid body also, so that when these balls fall, they're not just going to go through the floor. And then with the sphere highlighted, we need to, and then so click on sphere, then the rigid body tag, and then make sure dynamic is on. If dynamic is off, and you play your sequence, they're just going to sit there and they're not going to do anything, even though they are in the air. Now, if you go back to the beginning of the sequence, dynamic on, now they will fall to the floor and they should all land. Make your sequence a little bit bigger. To make your sequence a little bit bigger, we're going to go, so you can see, you can scrub through here and then it ends at 90 frames. So we're going to click here, highlight this, make it, I don't know, 150, 200, we're going to make 200, 200. And then drag this, you can see, this is kind of like your highlighted work area, and then we'll drag that open, so you can see the whole thing, and then you can play it. And then wait for it to get to a good spot. And pause. Okay. Now if we just render, we do like a preview render by clicking this button, it's gonna look like that. It's not gonna look like there's a floor really or anything like that. So we're gonna go here to render settings, this button right here. We're going to effect, then we're gonna click on global illumination. Have global illumination setting. You can see each of my settings. I have diffuse depth 1. These are probably all the default, but I put these both to medium. Record density and stochastic samples. Sounds complicated, don't know what that is. But I have both of them to medium. And I don't think those are default. I think they're like low default. Anyway, have global illumination clicked, and then we'll try rendering again. and it should take longer this time, because this one actually is having all these reflections come off the floor, and it should look better. When you have global illumination clicked, it will take longer to render the scene, especially when you're rendering video, unless you have a super fast computer, which my computer is not. You can see that looks a lot better. Alright, and that is pretty much it. I'm just gonna zoom in and get a little bit closer shot here. Look for a good one. We're gonna play it a little more. 250. I want them to separate a little more. Darn. 300. And right there. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. And that looks good. Okay, the next step would be to render it into an actual image for your computer. And we're going to take this one, and then we're going to render a scene. First, we need to make sure that we have all of our render settings the way we want them, because you don't want to render a scene and have it take several hours. Sometimes, depending on your settings and render settings and how long your sequence is, and if you're doing a video, you'll be investing a lot of time in having your computer render, so you want it to be correct, hopefully the first time. So I got 1280 by 720, and to save, we need to pick a location for it to save. I'm going to go to wherever I save my stuff, which is under 740, and then here we go. We're just going to name it light bulbs 2. Save. And options. Okay, yeah, and then make sure, since I don't want to render all of these, each individual frame, which would be 300 frames. I just want this current frame. Go to output and make sure that your frame range is in the current frame. Otherwise, if you're doing a video, obviously all frames. Otherwise, we're just going to make a picture and go to current frame. And then make sure global illumination is good. And this should be good to go. So we'll exit out of that. So we just set our settings with this. This is like a preview render, and then we're actually going to render this picture right here by clicking this. And this was kind of video, like a little preview of kind of what it's doing and how far it's going. Here's this one picture it's doing. The best way to learn from these programs, I think, from past experience, is following tutorials on YouTube, actually. Though you obviously are not going to be spending time doing professional stuff. You're going to have to read like a book and take classes for stuff like that, but doing basic stuff like this and just getting your bearings for the program, the best way I think to do that is just watch videos. Acres HD is a really good tutorial maker with these, and he knows what he's doing. So anyway, here we go. We're gonna see, we got our picture. Open up the file, and it should be good to go. And there's our picture. You can set it as your desktop background if you want. And that concludes this tutorial. Rate, subscribe, like the video, follow me on Twitter. The Twitter link is in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.